in the
justify being cruel to women.
Wasn't that within the providence of the Holy Spirit? Isn't that how the Bible came together? If you believe in the Bible, don't you?
You know, real quick. I guess something's going on with YouTube because Benjamin also said he had trouble getting in. So yeah, they must have done another update, Scott. I don't know. It was acting weird. It was even acting weird for me earlier. Like people were chatting, but it said I only had like 0 or 1 viewer. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, but there's a few people chatting on here. What the hell's going on? So yeah, something must have gone on.
You have to believe in the providence of the Holy. Hang on, stop. Hang on. Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question, John.
Yeah.
If it's the case that we can't rely on the fact that it's divine providence and the Holy Spirit, which allowed for the Bible to get put together in the first place, why should you trust any of it? Why?
I don't even understand that question, man. I mean,
do you believe the Bible's true or not, John?
I believe the Bible has a lot of truth, not necessarily a lot of facts. And being a Christian, I follow Christ. I'm not a Paulist.
Yeah, but how do you know what Christ is saying was correct if you can't trust the sources?
I'm going by the book we're all using. And I go by the teachings.
But you're also disputing the sources of those. You're also disputing the sources of those books and saying that they're unreliable.
Paul isn't Jesus. He's not as good a man as Jesus.
Paul corrupted the Bible. Is the Bible corrupted or not?
I think Paul putting his homophobia and misogyny into the movement is the opposite of Christ. And that's
so the Bible is corrupt.
Paul putting his homophobia and misogyny into movement is going against Christ. It's so wild. So wild.
Yes.
No, I think Jesus' fan club was corrupted. What are you talking about? The Bible is a collection of books by a lot of different guys.
Your epistemology here is wackadoo. So the Bible
hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Genesis, put together. Yeah, help me out here. And when the Bible gets put together,
your whole thing is hating me, bro. Your whole thing is hating me. Your whole thing is trying to make me
I haven't said anything hateful to you at all.
Dude, your whole thing is trying to make me look
back. Trying to make me look back. No, you do that yourself. See, Andrew Wilson during this debate doesn't say anything hateful or personal about John at all, but John is getting blown out and he's losing this debate. So he's taking that as, oh my goodness, Andrew is he's hating me. He's hating me with his facts and his logic.
I'm not interested in the meta debate. I'm interested in the debate.
Andrew, Genesis chapter 1, God creates man and woman in his image side by side at the same time. Genesis chapter 2, God creates man first, can't find a suitable mate, and later goes on to take his rib and make Eve. You can't believe
them both. Adam and Steve?
You can't believe
why wasn't it Adam and Steve?
You're making it a gay thing, and it's not a gay thing. There's
I know it's not a gay thing.
Accounts, dude. So which one is it? I don't really care because I follow the teachings of Jesus, and literal belief in one Genesis chapter or another has no bearing on Christ's directions on how we're supposed to treat each other.
So
and I don't follow Paul's homophobia. I follow Christ's love.
Because it was corrupt. Because he corrupted the Bible, right?
Paul made women deacons, and he had hangups.
So he corrupted the Bible?
There was no such thing as a Bible when Paul wrote his letters, dude.
Paul wrote
his letters.
Okay, one more time. Quote from you, John.
As did Rome, and Rome did much worse. Listen, I give Paul a lot of credit. Paul did a lot of great
Paul is Jesus' conservative PR guy who corrupted the Bible, quote. End quote by you, page 51 of Separation of Church and Hate.
Yeah, well,
so did he corrupt the Bible or did he not corrupt the Bible, John?
I'll say he corrupted Christianity. How's that?
Okay, good. So if he corrupted Christianity, why should we listen to anything he has to say?
Oh, you trying to hate, bro. Paul's misogyny is the opposite of Christ's love. Christ elevated women, taught women, which was illegal. He allowed women to touch him, which was illegal. The longest private conversation he has with anyone was with a Samaritan woman at the well he wasn't legally allowed to talk to. There were 3 women that went everywhere with the apostles, but the men who wrote it said, it was 12 apostles, 3 groupies. The women are the first ones Jesus appears to.
So they all got that wrong too.
The women are the only ones.
Hang on, they were misogynists too,
bro. You just can't let me finish.
Weren't they misogynists too?
The women are the only. The whole culture was misogynist, and Jesus is the reformer.
Why are we taking the word of a bunch of misogynists then?
I follow Jesus. He was the reformer.
But the people who are telling you what Jesus said were misogynists, John.
Is your point that Paul should carry as much weight as Jesus? Because if it's
my point is that you're making the claim right now that
I don't follow
women,
Paul, bro. I follow Christ.
Okay, yeah. So let me ask a question. the apostles, the initial apostles who were with Jesus Christ, you say the reason that the women weren't counted as apostles is because of the sexism of the people who went ahead and wrote the books.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
About
So,
the Holy
so I just
Roman
want to make
Empire.
sure. So I just want to make sure that we're supposed to take the words of Jesus
and
Christ
by
from
the
you,
way,
from the corrupted source of.
And by the way, this dude freaking can't even get a working camera or internet. Like, he freezes everything he says. It's just a frozen frame here. Looks like he's talking in pictures.
A bunch of misogynists. Is that
and
right?
Mary Magdalene was never a prostitute either. That was Pope Gregory who made that up. Yes.
I totally agree with you that she wasn't a prostitute.
Men have corrupted Christ's ministry for 2,000
The
years.
very apostles who were writing about it.
So if I could just
Paul's
offer
misogyny does not
Not
jive
just
with Christ's
Paul.
love.
We're talking about Matthew, Mark,
dude,
and Luke.
stop
They
saying that.
didn't count anybody,
Cringe.
any women as being apostles. Only
That's-
John counts them as being
That's
apostles.
why Jesus was such a radical revolutionary reformer, because he treated women as equals, and he talked to the people he wasn't allowed to talk to.
Why
And
didn't he
whoever
make
the
any of them
culture told
apostles
him-
then, John?
Whoever the culture told him he was allowed to despise is who he reached out to.
So why weren't
From the
any of them apostles, John?
I believe they were apostles, and I think the
Right.
men who wrote the book decided
Right.
they were groupies.
So they're corrupt too. They were corrupt misogynists who can't be trusted, John.
Dude, what's your hang up?
So I
Jesus
think-
treated women as equals.
If I can,
Paul
if I
didn't.
can,
They're
if I
corrupt.
could
They're
try,
They're corrupt
gentlemen,
misogynists who can't
Okay,
be. Their
so,
words can't be
Andrew,
trusted.
With
If I
respect,
could-
Andrew, with
If
respect,
I
who's
could
right?
try to offer a translation error, just to ensure we're on the same page. I believe what Andrew's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is you follow John, you follow Jesus Christ, but the authors of what Jesus Christ is teaching are the very people that you're saying corrupted or did all of these or said all of these.
Yeah, John's.
things kind of
Here's the
against
contradiction.
Christ.
I'll put it simply. Here's the
This
contradiction
is
for
all
me, John.
about you attacking me. This is your.
I'm not
whole thing.
attacking. I've never. I'm not attacking you at
and
all.
Your guys ganging up
I
on someone
haven't
having a
attacked
pile-on. That's
you
your
at
whole act.
all. I haven't attacked you
Dude.
once.
Go ahead.
I-
please.
And it's funny, he just accused, like, you guys are ganging up on me. What the hell? Sorry, must suck to suck. Must suck knowing that you're just wrong.
Not
Go ahead.
attacked you a single time.
Let's get back to the point.
What are you
Okay,
talking
Wait
about?
for the highlight reel on that one, Andrew. Go ahead.
Yeah,
My question
pull
to you
the-
is-
pull the
my question
highlight
to you is
reel.
this.
I know.
Andrew,
Let me repeat
Christ-
what I said. I want to
Christ
know.
Christ treated women as equals. Paul said women must be subservient and submissive and beneath men. Who's right?
No, I don't think so. So why didn't Christ make any women apostles? You say that because the apostles
did.
are lying. You say
He
the
did.
apostles are lying. Okay,
the
name
women
them.
were the women were the
Name 'em.
first ones. Mary and Martha, the sisters.
Go
of
aend and show
Lazarus,
me
and
anywhere in the Bible where
Magdalene.
they're
Hold on,
apostles.
let
The
him go.
women were the only ones who didn't abandon Jesus when his friends ran. The women were the first ones he returned to. Christ taught the whole scene where Martha's mad that Jesus is
Can you
teaching
show
Mary.
me a
Mary, it
single
was
Bible
illegal to
passage?
teach a woman. My point
Okay,
is Jesus
just gonna wait for you
treated-
to. Okay, go ahead.
Christ
Hold on.
treated women as equals.
Mhm.
Paul said women must be subservient to men. Who do you follow? I follow
Okay.
Christ.
So, John, right? Can you show me any biblical passage that names them apostles of Jesus?
No, the men who wrote
No,
the Bible don't name them as
Because you
apostles.
made it up, John. You made
Yes,
it
I
up
made
because
it
it
up. There are
suits.
women who
Yeah,
went
you
everywhere
made
with
it
them.
up, John.
But who's to say? Because who's to say it's not all made up?
Then
Dude,
why
it's the
should we
Bible.
trust any of the source, John?
Because I'm going by the book, and the women that went.
You're not
everywhere
going by
with
the
Jesus
book.
on
You
the hill.
you keep on adding to the book.
Women actually financed Jesus's ministry. Magdalene was
Can you
one
show
of the
me-
investors in his movement.
Show me an apostle biblically from that's a woman. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, there are people that are gonna corrupt. Like Ken said, men are corrupting religion. Yes, that's you. You are the one trying to corrupt the religion. Yeah, John is a snake, completely a snake. All these lefties, they're all snakes. Like, they're just all slimy and sleazy, and they want to try to corrupt everything, including religion, like including Christianity.
I don't care, man.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
care.
you
My
don't.
point is,
But listen. to-
okay, so
yeah,
Andrew,
it makes
please
no
tell me
sense.
what you believe.
Hold on,
Christ-
gentlemen. Hold
Makes
on.
no
Let's-
sense.
Let's
Andrew,
reset.
Christ-
Get to a
Christ
question.
treated women as equals. Paul said women are below men.
They were
Who
such
do you
equals that
follow?
there wasn't a single apostle that
Hold
you
on.
can point to biblically.
I
Not
don't
one.
Let him
believe
finish.
who Christ treated women as equals. He broke the laws of his faith to let women touch him. He taught women.
Why
which was
didn't he
not
make any of
legal
them
at the time.
apostles, sir?
Women were the first ones he returned to after his death. Paul says women must be subservient. Who do you follow? Is Paul right that women should not ever hold authority over a man?
Well.
Because
Well,
because
well,
Paul
here I'll
also
tell you.
Paul
I'll tell you,
also
as soon
makes
as you're done
women
rambling.
deacons. So Paul contradicts himself.
Yeah. So anyway, when you say this, you claim that there's some sort of equality going on between the sexes according to Jesus, and yet you don't have a single biblical passage which points to any of
Does
them being.
God
Hey,
like
hey,
men
hang on, my
better?
turn, John. My turn, John. You can't point to a single biblical passage by your own admission of a single woman being an apostle of Jesus Christ's name. Your entire excuse for this is because the original writers of this were such misogynists that they just conveniently left that out.
Women are
And hang on, John, my turn. And isn't it convenient, John, that they happen to leave this out so that you can have your presentism worldview that Jesus was a big old femoid. He was a big old feminist, even though you can't actually show me a single. Hang on, John. Calm down, John. You can't
really
show me a single female apostle. And you just made up that they are apostles. You just made it up. And then you claim that we can still trust those same sources about what Jesus said, John.
Does God love men and women equally, Andrew?
Yes, ontologically, men and women are equal, but we have hierarchies established by God. No, it's not. That's not what feminism is.
Dude, that is... Dude, that is such a such a lefty thing. Oh, did Jesus love men and women equally? Yes, he did. Then Jesus was a feminist. It's like do you believe that men and women should have equal rights? Yes, I do. Then you're a feminist. Like, to them, it's just, oh, okay. Like, if you think women deserve rights or should be treated like equally and stuff like that, well, then you're a feminist. It's like, no, John, that's not what feminism is, though.
Feminism,
God love men and women equally.
That's not what feminism is, John.
Feminism means equal access.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
No,
yes,
it doesn't.
It does, my
I'll
friend.
tell you exactly what it means. Feminism means egalitarianism.
Paul right, then, that women should be...
Let's go. We're starting to get our words crossed over here. There's a lot going on. So what happens when you guys interrupt each other? We actually can't hear anything either.
Then just time it. Time the debate. Make it 1 minute back and forth.
I can go back into timers if I need to.
Listen,
but
I'm cool, man. It's all good.
Let's try to be mindful when the other person's
The problem is John's a filibuster machine, so just put 1 minute on the clock.
That's
it is true. You're a filibuster machine.
Andrew, may I ask you, do you believe that women should be in subservience to men, as Paul says? Are men better?
Yes.
Are men better?
No, not ontologically
men are better than women?
Not ontologically
why
better.
Should men, why should women live in...
You see how you won't even let me answer the question?
Yeah, why is he why is he getting so aggressive, and why is he spurging? I keep saying, oh, do you believe men are better than women? Do you believe that they have equal rights? Like, why is he getting so aggressive and offended? Like, dude, like, there's a difference between saying that, like, oh, men should be subservient to men and oh, I hate women and we should degrade them every chance we get. Like, that's not the same thing. But to this joker right here, he thinks they are the same thing because that's what he's been indoctrinated to believe.
Can you ask me, John? Do you see why we need a timer? You won't even let me answer the very question you're asking me.
Why
so if you just calm down, if you calm down for 2 seconds, I'll explain. Okay, so the way that it works is I don't know why God does this. You don't know why God does this, but he sets up hierarchies. God works within hierarchies, and that's what we have is hierarchy. Yes, that is indeed the case, John. And so the thing is really interesting here is when we're talking about the ontology of men and women, do I think that they're equal morally? I do. But do I think that inside of hierarchies, they have very different roles than men? Yes. What's my proof of that? Well, they can reproduce, John, and men can't. And so that's why within see what I mean?
See, like, these lefties are so brainwashed. Like, dude, this guy, like, he doesn't even let Andrew talk. And you'll see, like, later on in the debate, like, Sarah has to have it where it's just 1 minute intervals. So that way they don't interrupt each other. And whenever Andrew talked during his minute, John would, like, interrupt. But look how offended and angry he's getting. Like, these people are so brainwashed and warped that if you say something like, yes, women should be subservient to men, pretty much, again, it's like the feminists, when you tell them something like that, they're like, oh, they think of, like, Handmaid's Tale. Oh, what, you want to chain up women to the stoves? Like, that's where their minds automatically go. And again, it's because we've all been brought up to think that by the lefty media. Like, that's all the propaganda we've been fed. So a lot of people think that way, that if you dare say something like that, pretty much Handmaid's Tale, you want to chain up women to the stoves and treat them like slaves, pretty much. And it's like, no, that's not what we're saying.
You're a
Hold on,
filibuster
hold on.
machine. You don't want to
Hold
hear
on.
the answer, John, because it blows out your worldview. Feminism is actually not just about egalitarianism. It's about the egalitarianism and the deconstruction of patriarchal systems. Otherwise, how could they be oppressed if there's no oppressor? The oppressor's the evil men, John. They're the oppressor. They're the evil ones. The evil patriarchy has to be the oppressor. Otherwise, what would you need feminism to equalize you against? It's going to be against the evil patriarchy, John.
May I speak? You're using the Bible to claim that women are inferior, and then you're making fun of people.
I didn't
who don't like
claim.
the patriarchy.
Tell me how I said women were inferior, John.
Okay, why is there a hierarchy? Where does God say women must be submissive to men?
Because
where does
John,
God say women must be submissive to men?
It's literally said in the New Testament. You've been quoting Paul yourself. What do you mean?
Where does God say it? Not Paul. Where does God say it?
Oh, well, we could go through the Old Testament as well if you want to see what women's roles
where does
were.
Christ say it, my Christian brother in Christ?
Yeah, so here's the thing that's really funny. What do you think that Christ needed to say when he's talking about the equal ontological value of men and women? I agree with that statement. But the hierarchical structure of how, because human societies, John, still work better when men are in leadership roles and dominant roles and physical roles, and women work best when they're not in those roles. And that's why you establish these hierarchies in society and move society towards those hierarchical roles, John.
So submission.
That's not
Paul's word.
It's not
Paul's
submission.
Word is submission.
It's cooperation, John.
So do you agree with St. Paul that women should not hold any authority over
I think wives should submit to their husbands. Yes, I agree. But it also states, John, you conveniently leave this out, that husbands are supposed to submit to their wives. Doesn't it say that, John?
But it also says that women should be in submission to man, that a woman should have authority over man. And
this is what's interesting. In church, yes. In church.
A woman should not be allowed to speak in church. Do you agree with that, Andrew? Because
in church,
Jesus,
yes.
That's Paul. This is all Paul you're following.
Yes, in church. You know what's really funny is that Paul seemed to be following Jesus Christ just fine. Jesus Christ did not give any women the authority to be apostles. The only way that you could prove that, John, is to just make it up.
So Paul makes Phoebe a deacon, but says women can't have authority over
and
men.
What's a deacon? What's a deacon, John? What is it?
Deacon is a leadership role in the church.
Okay, what specifically was this deacon supposed to do?
A leadership role in the church.
What was this deacon supposed to do, Phoebe?
Paul doesn't say what Phoebe does.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I'm saying to you is,
now I'm going to tell you. Now I'm going to tell you, John.
And in one line, Paul is misogynist, and in other passages, Paul is I'm not going to fight you, bro. I don't hate you. In other passages, Paul is uplifting women. In other passages, Paul is celebrating women. He talks about how certain women saved his life, how certain women funded his church, just like certain women helped fund Jesus's church. What I'm saying is, why do we believe the parts where Paul says women should be submissive to men, but then don't take the parts where he ordains women to be in authority over men with the same heft?
I'll explain.
Because
he doesn't.
Does none of this.
He doesn't.
And Jesus breaks the laws of Judaism to treat women as equals.
Yeah.
Please.
So I'll explain this to you. So early deaconship, right? If you go back through Orthodox Church history and Catholic Church history, nudity was a way that people used to be baptized, and early female deacons were there so that the men didn't have to be exposed to the female nudity when they were doing baptism. They did not have positions of authority over confessionals or over men in the traditional sense of clergy, John. You're wrong, John.
So women how come you didn't
John, how come you didn't know that, John?
My mother was a Catholic nun.
She didn't teach you very well, John.
No, she actually did, because you're following Paul.
Wait. I'm not familiar with this. Can Catholic nuns have children? I thought their whole thing, they were supposed to be celibate, right? So his mother was a Catholic nun. Well, how did she have John then? Am I wrong about that, guys? Like I'm not an expert, so I don't know that, but I was under the impression that nuns weren't allowed to do the horizontal mambo, so it's weird that he says my mom was a Catholic nun, but it would explain a lot, though. It would explain a lot if that were the case.
Paul instead of Christ. And
I'm following
you're
both.
The one saying that women should be submissive to men. I follow Christ, who does not say that. Christ broke the laws of his own Jewish faith to teach women and hold them as equals. He allowed women to touch him. He allowed women who were not Jewish to talk to him.
But that's not what's in contention
goes
here.
Outside of the tribe. No, I know. I still listen. You just want to fight me, man. But what I'm saying is, I don't follow.
I'm fighting your worldview, John, not you.
Paul's hang-ups got poured into his letters. And I give Paul a lot of slack. He had no way of knowing when he was setting up the early church that his hangups about dudes hooking up with dudes would one day be used to justify so much.
So chat confirming to me that, yeah, no, nuns cannot have children. So, yeah, what's going on there, John? I mean, again, it'll explain a lot that you have this perverted and corrupt version of Christianity if your mother was a Catholic nun and yet gave birth to you. What's going on there? There's a lot to this backstory. And again, when you listen to these people talk and you listen to little pieces of their lore come out as they debate, you're able to kind of put some pieces together here. And you're able to kind of get a bigger picture to what's going on here and why this dude is on here debating when he clearly doesn't believe in like the traditional Christianity, and he wants to push this narrative of hippie Jesus and whatnot.
Cruelty that is forbidden by the love of Christ. And again, homophobia is an insult to the Sermon on the Mount, and anyone who claims to follow Leviticus is lying to you. It's just a book that people pick and choose to justify their cruelty. So again, man, I go with the love of
This
Jesus.
is just rambling. It's not contending with what I'm saying.
Well,
You're
let's
not
bring it back to
contending at all with
Christian
what I'm saying.
Well, let's bring it back to
we can bring it back to Christian nationalism, but I would like to
this
point
is
out.
exactly what you'll see. You'll see in nationalism.
Let's bring it back to Christian
that
nationalism.
some
Hang on.
groups are better than others. And
But let me tie this off with this.
Version of Christ's ministry where some groups are elevated, and it's not about humility. It's always about power, and it's always about we're the ones who should be in control.
Guess what, John?
Opposite of Christ's message.
Yeah, here's a really funny thing here, John. Besides the fact that you have an incoherent epistemology, which I just pointed out, and it makes no sense at all. But let me point out. But let me just point this out that what you just said is true of every political ideology which has ever existed ever.
What exactly?
That what happens with political power is that it gets consolidated in the hands of often bad people at some point, which cripples whatever that political power is. That's every form of it which has ever existed, John, including whatever secular ethics you propose.
Nationalism doesn't work. Hitler proved Christian
nationalism. Then no ideology works, John.
Wait, what? So wait, Hitler was a Christian nationalist now? Guys, that's news to me. Hitler was a Christian? And he was a Christian nationalist? Dude, this is what I'm saying. Like, this guy is insane. The stuff that he says. He paints this picture that Jesus agrees with everything, every leftist talking point that I want. And that actually Christian nationalism, well, Hitler was a Christian nationalist, huh? And later on, he also brings up Donald Trump, which the TDS is clear with this man. Clear TDS.
Winds up, but no, I'm sorry. Whenever you fuse Christ's movement with power, it always leads.
Whenever you infuse any ideology with power, it does.
Whenever you merge Christ's movement of humility with authoritarian power, it always leads to someone telling you why this group is above this group.
Can you tell me any authoritarian power that's not true of? Any authoritative power?
No, I think authoritarian power sucks, man. I think authoritarian power is a racket, and it hoodwinks.
So no law, John. No law, no government, none of that. Communist utopia.
You asked me. No, I'm not a communist. You really need to make me a bad guy all the time, bro.
I'm not even trying to make you
authoritarian government.
Hold on.
Government.
This is why we need 1 minute. Just do 1 minute. Otherwise, they'll filibuster to death.
He's not even going more than 30 seconds. Allow me to clarify. When Andrew is attacking, it's the argument. It's not you personally. So let's kind of keep that clear in terms of he's not attacking you. He's just attacking your arguments and what you're saying.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
People often can't tell the difference, John, because their ideology is so scuffed. They don't know the difference.
Bro, I wish you love. You're never going to get me to hate you back, bro. Keep trying.
Well, I don't know. You one day you'll demonstrate I hate you. But anyway,
let's get
back to the ideology.
This guy. Dude, this guy's internet's horrible. Look at this guy. You know, Sarah and Andrew, their fucking internet's just fine. Their camera's working clear. But look at this fucking guy. Freezes every fucking 5 seconds. But this dude pretends to be like, listen, I love you, brother. You can never get me to hate you. Blah, blah, blah. Peace and love. Live, laugh, love. But we all know he's full of shit. Like, we all know he hates Christians, like, and specifically conservative Christians. Not the hippy-dippy fake Christians. Well, he loves them. But, you know, actual Christians, conservative Christians, You can tell like he hates them. I mean, dude, he called Hitler a Christian nationalist. That's insane. And so we all know that he's lying, he's slimy, he's sleazy, all that stuff.
Yeah, back to the debate, John. If you can't name a single ideology that it's not true of, that it doesn't consolidate in the hands of a few after X amount of generations of running, because it's how nepotism works socially, intersocially, there's not a single ideology that you can say has won or has not failed. So what is the counter ideology that you propose that you think isn't going to fail when Christian nationalism will, John?
Well,
what is
personally, I'm a big fan of living in a free democracy where we vote based on the teachings of Christ. I'm glad you asked that question because I find that if you actually prioritize the things Christ,
well, we want to vote on the teachings of Christ, but you want to vote on the teachings of hippy dippy Christ.
Told us to prioritize. If we as a society stop giving massive tax benefits to the wealthiest Nazarenes, if we stop getting tangled into hatred and deals that only enrich the obscenely rich already, but we focus on the margins as Christ commands, if we as a nation voted the teachings of Jesus in the ballot box, we would help the poor. We would fight poverty, and poverty hurts all of us, including rich people. And if everyone's doing better, everyone's doing better. We would fight for a living wage. We would fight for health care for all Americans, because that is the gospel. Jesus commanded his followers to heal the sick. That's why so many churches built hospitals, because that was Jesus's marching order. I mean, when you look at the fact that
can we just get back to the democracy part first?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would vote the teachings of Christ to take care of the least of us, because that is also sound economic policy.
Do you agree with
billionaires
me?
Will,
okay.
The billionaires.
Yeah, billionaires. Yeah. My billionaires are evil billionaires. Whatever happened to the millionaires? It's so weird how once Bernie Sanders became a millionaire, all of a sudden the narrative became, oh, my billionaires. Remember when it was millionaires and billionaires? Now it's just billionaires. It's so weird how that works, right? Anyway, Christianity preaches that we give charity. It doesn't preach that we take from people and just give it to other people, which is what this dude is advocating. But he tries to conflate the two, and that, oh yes, if we have universal health care, that's what Jesus would have wanted. No, Jesus wants us to willingly give our money for charity, for good, to do it because it's the right thing, not because you're going to force me to give some of my money to this person here or that person here. That's not what Jesus wanted.
Will still be fine, but imagine if we voted based on what Christ told us to do and not the stuff we think he told us to do.
Well,
not the stuff
John,
Paul talked about or the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Voting on Christ's values.
So, but John, just back to your system of democracy, of voting democracy for Christ's values. I am assuming that non-Christian secularists and people who hate Christ can vote inside of this democracy you propose, right, John?
Oh, some of the best Christ followers I've known are atheists, and some of the most godless heathens are very loud, proud Christians. Yeah.
So, can you answer my question? Are all of those people going to be able to vote in your
By the way,
so John, how is this not just the status quo then, John?
The thing about Jesus' teachings.
How's that not the status quo, John?
Because we're not doing it.
We're not doing what? Everybody goes in and votes their whatever they want to vote for.
What I'm saying, yes, my utopia, if you will, is not a nation where we violate the teachings of Christ and violate the Constitution to have one class of people that announces we're better than everyone because God thinks we are. The spiritual narcissism is it's going to kill you, man. For me, I believe in a society where if we really did follow the teachings of Christ, who never had representative democracy, Jesus lived and died under European military.
This is not telling me how this is different than the status quo, John. It's just more rambling, John.
Because voting to help the poor and end poverty, voting to help the sick.
Can people do that right now, John? Can they do it right this second? Okay, so then it's the status quo, John. You're only proposing the same. Your proposition for a system. Your proposition for the system is the same exact system we have right now. Same one.
No, actually, it's not. No,
give me a single distinction then. Give me a single distinction.
Progressive taxation, like Adam Smith and Eisenhower taught us. Progressive taxation.
So power. You want power, John.
Billionaires are laughing at hardworking white men. Billionaires are laughing at you and using Hunter Biden and brown immigrants to get you guys to vote against your own poor interest.
It's so weird how they always bring up brown immigrants. Like, these people always insist that we just don't want immigrants here, like illegal immigrants anyway, here Oh, because they're brown. That's what it is. It's like, ugh, icky, brown, yuck, gross, disgusting. Like, no, if you're here illegally, I don't want you here. And I think it's safe to say that that's how we all feel. We don't want you here if you're here illegally. Doesn't matter if you're white, brown, black, whatever. We don't want you here. But they always have to make it about like, oh, but yeah, they're brown people. Oh, because that's how they view everything. Like the left, they view everything from this oppression, hierarchical oppression, and based on skin color. So, uh, yeah, they're really telling on themselves when they say that.
How trickle-down economics has always run a con on working people, and it's more hard-working guys who are being suckered by the plantation owners to go fight for Confederacy that does not serve them. It only serves the rich.
So, John, what you want is you want power so that you can stop all that, right?
You got to make me a bad guy. That's the only thing you want. This whole conversation.
Can you answer my question, John? Isn't your system just a proposition for power to stop the bad people from doing the bad stuff?
No, I want us to take care of each other. I want us to take
by
care
stopping
of
the bad, evil, rich billionaires who are trying to import tons and tons of brown people or hurt the working class, or convince the working class, that they're being hurt by them. You are proposing. You're proposing a voting system in place with a voting block, so that you can form a voting block for the purposes of political power to make changes, aren't you, John? Isn't that what you're actually proposing right now?
And what's funny is that like when we get like people who are actually escaping like actual oppression, like the white Africans, that the refugees, the white African refugees that are here from Africa, because Africa actually are like oppressing white people over there. They hate that. They're like, oh no, not these refugees. No, yeah. It's like really anti-white with them.
Dude, you would like me so much. We would get along so well. And
can you just answer the question, bro?
Like I'd be like so friendly to you, bro.
Just answer the question, John.
I think you're on to something, Woodworking Guinea. I think you're on to something.
To call me names because I know the hate is important. The hate is so important to you.
Yeah. So anyway, the question, John.
Society. I think a Christian society is what Christ said it was. That if you pretend to be Christian.
Oh yeah. Where did Christ advocate for democracy, John?
Hold on, let him answer.
He didn't have it. But
exactly.
When you look at the judgment,
making it up.
Matthew 25, the judgment of nations, is Jesus giving his policy prescription to society. And he is telling you that his fake followers are the ones who claim they follow him, but they don't, as societies, take care of the poor, take care of the sick, welcome the stranger, and are kind to those in prison. Jesus is literally telling you what you need to do to earn the label a Christian nation. And his entire movement is about humility. But thinking you're better than someone else, or that you deserve power because God likes you better, that's idolatry. That's a
then, John. All you're doing here is refuting your own argument, because what you're proposing right this second is your proposition is to create and advocate for a voting bloc, which will then get into power so that they can implement your agenda. And you just laid out what your agenda is. Hang on, John. That's what you want to implement, is your agenda via the utilization of a voting bloc. So in my opening, remember when I said, for John, this is actually about power. What you just admitted to, John, is that it is. It's just about wanting a power block to enforce your will, and you don't want Christians to do the same thing back.
No, it's really about you needing to do this whole shtick of yours. Can you please tell me what teaching of Christ does the MAGA?
Are we gonna do this again? Is this debate about the?
Yeah, listen, this dude, like, see, he's freaking wild. And if you watch the full debate, you'll see, like, he gets more into Trump. Like, Trump gets involved in this. And it's like, what does Donald Trump have to do with this? What's the prompt here? Christian nationalism is better for society than the liberal status quo. Congratulations for John, by the way, that he at least understood the prompt, unlike Wick. But anyway, he brings up Trump, which, again, tell me that you have TDS without telling me you have TDS. And that's what this is all about. This is about him pushing his liberalism as Christianity. And we all know, like, he's full of shit. Like, again, he's trying to push this narrative that Jesus was actually, he was pro open borders. He was pro trans. He was pro LGBTQ. He was a feminist. He wanted to tax the rich. You know, he was pro Palestine. Like any freaking lefty narrative, that's what they're trying to put onto Jesus Christ. And yeah, as you can see, he doesn't make any sense. He is just another wacky liberal trying to LARP as some kind of Christian who follows Jesus, when we all know he is anything but. So good job, Andrew, on schooling this dude. But what did you guys think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you liked it. And if you want to see more of Andrew Wilson destroying these turd lefties, well, I got a playlist for you on the screen, as well as a whole bunch more Raging Tomato debate. By the way, if you want to see this full debate, I have a link in the description down below.